Hey guys, how's it going? It's Calvin Raab, and a special welcome to all my marketing majors that are out there. So in this video, I'm going to go over the 10 highest paying jobs for marketing majors. And I am going to go from lowest paying to highest paying, but I really don't want you to skip to the highest paying one because A, salary isn't the most important thing, and B, somewhere along the way, you may find a job that you are interested in and want to look more into. So without further ado, let's jump into it and let's start talking about the 10 highest paying jobs for marketing majors. Let's do it. And if you're new here, my name's Calvin Raab. I make videos all about the job market and economics, so if you're interested in anything like that, I would love it if you would subscribe. Coming at number 10 is a business analyst, and a business analyst is going to be making over $68,000 base average salary per year. So this is base average salary before any bonuses or anything like that. So a business analyst is in charge of all things making sure a company runs more efficiently. So oftentimes a business analyst is going to be doing a lot of research and collecting a lot of data and just making sense of all that data. This is a very much so data-driven job in that you'll be doing a lot of research, getting that data, but also taking data that the company collects. You know, companies collect a massive amount of data these days. So you're going to be going through that, making sense of all that raw data and making decisions from that. So using that data to see how can we improve workflow? How can we increase and make this part of the company more profitable? How can we run more efficiently? And you are ultimately looking at the company as a whole and making decisions based on the analytics that you see and comprehend. So you'll be making a lot of business decisions, or at least recommending business decisions to different higher ups and executives and different things like that, just to make this company compete better against their competitors and also just run more efficiently. So if you're at all kind of interested in this, this is definitely something that you should look at further your research into, because it's a very high paying job and a lot of businesses need a lot of business analysts because there is a lot of data to look at. Coming at number 9 is a digital marketing manager, going to be making over $69,000 per year. So this is the manager of all of digital marketing. So you're not going to be focusing on one small part of social media, maybe Instagram or something like that, but you are in charge of the whole digital brand or digital marketing sector of this business. So this is going to be just taking the idea of the brand, that idea of the brand, what they're trying to get across, and transforming that into the digital world, from online ads to, of course, social media and so much more. And it can oftentimes, you know, it may seem like, oh, make a couple Instagram posts or something like that, but it's so much more than that. It is taking brand identity and making it digital. And oftentimes companies that can't do this, haven't done it properly, or are neglecting it, are the ones that are being left behind. And as we live in a more digitalized world than ever before, this is becoming the prominent side of marketing. So if you're at all interested in this at all, this is oftentimes something you may not jump right into, but something you may work your way up to. You may be more of a specific part of digital marketing and then you work your way up to that management position. But it's so much more than just marketing even. It's the management side of things, making sure that all the different sectors that go into, from the website ads to the social media side of things, making sure everyone's on the same boat here. So you have a lot of managerial tasks as well. Coming at number 8 is a brand manager, and they're going to be making a base average salary of over $89,000. So in the world we live in today, a brand's reputation is probably one of its most important things. It needs to have a good brand reputation. And in order to get that, you need someone to manage that brand. And that is the job of the brand manager. You are going to be creating the brand and trying to spread the brand's image. So you are going to be kind of coming up with strategies in order to spread the brand idea, because you want people, when they first think of your brand, to have a positive thought in mind. So this will be oftentimes talking with a lot of other marketing people and saying, all right, what can we do to spread this brand's identity? But it's much more than that. Part of it is spreading it, but it's also protecting brand identity. So it's doing a lot of things that are kind of oftentimes good for communities because it looks good back on the business as a whole, but it's also dealing with criticism that the company gets, because you don't want that criticism to cast a shadow over brand identity, because your job is to make sure that the brand's image is as intact as possible. Coming in at number 7 is a marketing director, and they'll be making a base average salary of about $95,000. So a marketing director is kind of the higher ups in marketing. You know, they are in charge of all things marketing. So this isn't the digital marketing world. This isn't, you know, ads, TV ads, or anything like that. This is everything. So this is start to finish, coming up with the kind of advertising campaigns and really managing the whole part of marketing to make sure, every little subset of marketing is being covered and everything is being done properly and everything's being done on time, and just really controlling that whole marketing deposit or kind of department. And this is also a very stressful position because oftentimes if sales say aren't that good, oftentimes it can come on the marketing director's neck because they are the ones in charge of making sure that sales are good and making sure that the brand is getting in front of as many eyeballs as possible. So it's very stressful, but it can also be a very interesting job, and if you are passionate about marketing or anything like that, this may be something that you might enjoy. Coming in at number 6 is a global marketing manager, and with this job you'll be making a base average salary of over $95,000. So in the world we live today, there are a lot of companies that are now going global, and it's become easy to we live in a globalized world now where it's not as hard as it used to be for a company to now outstretch and go beyond its borders and start advertising to other countries and different things like that. But when that happens, marketing has to change as well, because values and cultures are different, say, here in the United States than they would be in a different country. And because of that, marketing strategies have to change too. So that takes someone to be in charge of global marketing. Oftentimes this job will include a lot of conversations with marketing experts in other countries just to make sure that in these other countries your product is being marketed as well and as competitively as possible, because you can't use the same marketing strategy that you may have for one country in another country, because values change and culture changes and you have to be able to adapt to that. And a good global company is going to look different in different countries. So it's your job to make sure that the marketing is doing such a way that it is competitive in any market that this company enters. Coming at number 5 is a channel marketing manager, and they'll be making on average over $97,000 per year. So in order to understand this job, you kind of have to understand what a marketing channel is. So a marketing channel holistically is just everything that goes into the production and consumption of a given product. You can look at the whole system of a certain marketing channel and really get a good idea of how this company works or how this product's produced and then consumed by the end consumer. And what this job will be centered around oftentimes has to do with that consumer. So you'll be looking at a particular marketing channel. So maybe this is the channel that involves a particular group of people, let's say college students. I'm a college student. So then your whole job is going to be to expand and cast that net wider and get more college students. And so you'd focus in and you'd say, all right, what do college students value? How can I get more college students on board with this particular product? And that's going to be your whole job, working on these specific marketing channels and really specifying down to different communities and different things like that. So this is just another thing that big brands do to try to expand their network and just take in more leads. Really all sales is just trying to get as many leads as you can into a funnel that you have to try to make them clients or customers in the end. Coming at number 4 is a product marketing manager, and with this job you're going to be making over $105,000. So a product marketing manager is going to be a little different from the marketing manager, who may be in charge of all things for a business, but here you'll be specific to one specific product. So, maybe you work for Nike or something like that, and you are in charge of the marketing side of just this one shoe. You are all in on this, everything about it, and you are in charge of all things marketing for that. So underneath you will have a pretty big team oftentimes, working on this one product, and you will be there from start to finish, from launch of the product to coming up with different marketing strategies and ideas to implementing them to collecting data to hopefully driving sales. And you'll be speaking with a lot of higher executives, speaking on how sales are going, how marketing is doing for this particular product, and really trying to sell this one product. And oftentimes this is very common in businesses that may not have too many different products. You wouldn't see like large retail stores, have one for every single product they have. No, that's not possible. But for businesses, that have a few products, then you would have a product marketing manager over one specific product. Or sometimes one product can be a couple, a line of shoes or a line of clothing or something like that. But this is when you become ultimately in charge of the marketing for one particular product. All right, coming in at number 3 is a data scientist, and on average, you're going to be making over $113,000. So, a data scientist is a really interesting position that really deals with a whole lot of different things and really wears a lot of different hats. But what data science is really trying to do is just trying to help the company make decisions. So, you'll be dealing with a lot of data, and data scientists go through and make sense of that data, run different tests and algorithms and different things like that to try and fix issues that the company may have. And one thing that is somewhat specific to data scientists is that, the data scientists that I've talked to in the internships that I've had have always been, or have oftentimes been working on things like predictive modeling, coming up with future projections and different things like that, because that's what shareholders and investors want to see, are these predictive models of what's going to happen in the future. So you kind of get to look into the future a little bit as a data scientist, and then also dealing with, big data, making sense of it, and trying to explain it to people that may not understand the data right away. So this is a great job. It is very high paying and very much so in demand right now, and it is available to marketing majors, and you will have to look at, getting somewhat trained, the different courses that you may have to take and understand to go into data science. I'm doing that. I am economics, and now I'm taking courses or just on my own learning different things that would help me with data science, because this is something that I want to go into, further studying things like Python, SQL, and different things like that to further understand and become a data scientist, because it is a great job that is out there. Coming in at number 2 is a creative director, and that is going to have an average salary of about $126,000. So a creative director is something that I think is really cool. Of course, this is something that is a little bit higher up. This is going to be something oftentimes that you're going to jump right into, but it is something that you may want to work your way up to. So creative director is really interesting. They are in charge of all things kind of visual for the company and coming up with a lot of creative outlets that the company may have when it comes to marketing. So when you think of a particular marketing campaign, oftentimes you may think of it just as like, oh, one advertisement that you see, but it's so much more than that. Oftentimes it's not just one ad, but it's 12 different ads along with all these Instagram posts that are using, the same colors, and it all has to flow together. Marketing is very much so having to do with cohesive working together of different ads. It isn't one ad doesn't stand alone. It works together with this whole visual board that oftentimes a creative director will create. They're the ones that originally create different ideas when it comes to marketing strategies as a whole. They'll come up with a whole just workflow and coming up with the font and the color to everything, and just make sure that everything is visually pleasing to the eye. And this is something that, of course, you have to be very, not visually minded, but more so very creative to enable to take these ideas and actually make them into actuality, coming up with plans. But because you are a director, you will be pretty high up in that you are going to have to know the management side of things as well. So it's kind of the upper echelon of all business and marketing as well. And it's, of course, very high paying. Coming in at number 1, and I'd actually stick around till after this because I'm actually going to have one that pays a little bit higher as a bonus that I'm going to explain after this one, but let's start with this one. So number 1 is a demand generation director, and on average they're going to be making about $132,000 per year. So a demand generation director, what you're in charge of is generating demand, which is something that is very hard. And this is something that I study a bit in economics, supply and demand. How do you up demand? And this is kind of in that same wheelhouse in that you have this product, now how do you make people want it? This goes above advertising in that it isn't so much here's a product and now let's try to get people to want it, but it's more so what do people want? You are going to have input on the product itself, what is demanded, and then you're also going to work with marketing teams to try to further the want that people have for this. So you are part of building it and the marketing side of things. That is why it is such a high-paying job, because your kind of foot is in both doors. This idea that you're going to be dealing with the marketing side of things, making people want it through that, but also the creating of the product and making sure that you are creating a product in such a way that is demanded. So, and the reason this is so high paying is because if this business or this person doesn't exist, you need demand in order to sell a product. If the demand is not there, there's no point in a business even making it. I think of it from YouTube. I want to make videos that people actually demand, and I want to spend my time and effort on making videos that are demanded. And businesses think the same way with products. When they're creating products, they want to make sure the demand's there because they don't want to waste their money and resources on a product that has no demand. So oftentimes this can even be a job that economics people go after because we understand supply and demand, but marketing certainly as well, and business, and a lot of different hats will go on in this position. But if this is something that you are at all in charge of, this of course isn't something that you don't jump into as well. It is a director position, so it is something that you would work your way up, and maybe you could put yourself in a better position if you consider getting an MBA or a master's of some sort. So if you're at all interested in this maybe this is something that you want to look at as well. All right, so you made it through the 10. I now want to reward you with a little bonus one, and that is Chief Marketing Officer, or sometimes just referred to as CMO, with an average salary of $170,000. So originally when I kind of wrote out this video and what I wanted to look like, I actually had CMO as number 1. But after thinking about it, the way in which someone becomes a CMO is very much so off of, experience, and may go get a graduate degree. A lot of CMOs have master's degrees or MBAs or something like that. And in my list, I don't like to have a lot of graduate degrees. I like to keep it at an undergraduate level, although as I always say, a graduate degree can make you more marketable for a lot of these jobs. But a CMO, in a lot of these positions, I always said, will then report to higher executives. Oftentimes, when it comes to marketing or anything sales related, the CMO is who they go to. You are the top dog, the final decision maker when it comes to making decisions about marketing for the business. You are on oftentimes that executive team. You are the face of marketing when it comes to a particular business, and it is a very stressful position because oftentimes at these high level companies, when a particular campaign doesn't go well, they don't make as profitable as they can. It's oftentimes very political at that level, that you are just fired right off the bat or something like that. So it is very stressful, but it is very high paying, very important. You are the top when it comes to marketing. So you of course have to be very decisive, make a lot of good decisions. But if this is something you may want to strive for, it was left off the list because oftentimes it isn't something you may jump right into, but you may have to work your way up. But it can be kind of a goal. I would like to become the CMO. You can look at different companies. You can even look at maybe famous CMOs and different things like that, because it is a very popular position and is something that is very well demanded. You can get different skills and different things like that. So if you want to go after that, best of luck to you. It's an amazing job and very high paying at the same time. So that will wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. In this video, I went over the 10 highest paying jobs that I see, but there's so many more. In my research, I looked at about almost 100 jobs for marketing. There's so many different things that you can do. So if I mess something up, maybe I described something poorly, or you have a different idea, or you disagree with me, I would love to have a conversation with you below in the comments. So just go down there, let me know. I really enjoy talking to you guys. Right now it's just me in my room and I'm just talking to a camera, but I would love it to actually hear from you guys and see what you guys have to say. I always enjoy talking to you guys in the comments below. So that will wrap it up. Thank you so much for taking time and energy out of your day to actually watch my videos. I truly appreciate it. If you found this helpful, I would love it if you hit a like button. That lets YouTube know that, hey, maybe this is helping some people, and it may push my video a little bit further. And if you want to see more videos like this, I would love it then if you would subscribe as well. But that will wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, my name is Calvin Raab, and I'll see you soon. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. So I'm going to move to the corner of your screen here. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, you are going to see my most recent video. And if you look in the lower left-hand corner, you're going to see a video that YouTube and I each think that you would like. And if you haven't yet, you can hit my face right here and subscribe. As always, my name is Calvin Raab, and I'll see you soon.